respected leaders, guests, faculty, and students, congratulations for a wonderful and productive conference.
We would now like to welcome our Academic Director, Ms. Mida Abdul, for closing remarks.
Thank you, Sarah. Good afternoon to our distinguished guests, the SGIA School Board and Leadership Team, the MUN organizers, and most importantly, to all delegates. Thank you for the most interesting and inspiring speeches and debates that have gone on over the past 2 days. It has been inspiring for me to have listened to some of the resolutions put forward by the delegates in their attempts to contribute to a more peaceful and sustainable world. The energy and the positive vibes, it was palpable, and it came through this online platform. The Palestine-Israel conflict has been in the news for decades, since the foundation of Israel in 1948, and still is an unsolved situation with many governments in the world taking sides with either Palestine or Israel. I heard some most poignant comments about how recognition of Hamas might further solve it or exacerbate it. The military coup in Myanmar, a country which has most recently denied the rights of its ethnic minorities, as well as the majority Burmese, has shocked the world and ended a developing democracy here in Southeast Asia. Delegates made significant points in their resolutions, aspiring for the world community to put pressure on the military junta to return the democracy that Myanmar deserves. Delegates from Nepal reminded me that those victims had identity. They meant something to their society. We need to stand together with France and its allies, condemning the human rights violation and activating funding and support from other countries to protect those victims who are still in detention. The Economic and World Trade Organization brought up issues that are relevant and fast-moving at this time. The urge to utilize cryptocurrency for our daily lives, the shortage of silica, and the ubiquitous computer chip are equally as important as the issues mentioned earlier. These issues prove how human dependency on one or two items can impact development and progress and our values, both personal and societal. Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, stated that it all comes down to values. He continued by saying that it is important for us to want the world for our children to inherit, to be defined by the values enshrined in the UN Charter. Peace, justice, respect, human rights, tolerance, and solidarity. Realistically, the challenges remain in today's world. Human rights violation, a threat to democracy, political division that affects peacekeeping, not to mention being in the midst of a pandemic that does not seem to go away. As profoundly discouraging as it sounds, however, only through collaboration and discussions between nations can we arrive at any resolution for those issues, as demonstrated by the delegates at this MUN. Although we witnessed the discussions and debates in 4 topics during our MUN this time around, I do encourage you to further explore other issues that need to be addressed, discussed, and solved. Poverty, climate change, gender equality, and some of the ambitious development goals set out by the United Nations. We all hope that through continuous effort from fellow educators, we can incorporate these sustainable development goals into our curriculum for our students, both in primary and secondary. It is never too early to develop an awareness of how we can help create a more sustainable world, particularly when humans are responsible for putting the threats to our planet. The late Sir Ken Robinson said, "Life is not linear. It is organic." Use this in relation to how we can create our life symbiotically with the purpose that comes along with it. In my opinion, it may also mean that we have the responsibility to be fully aware of the opportunities we have to make a change, be it small or big, because ignorance ultimately costs lives. So be courageous to keep wondering and asking questions. Why? Why is it like this? For it may be the one that leads you to take action. Be brave by having the humility to acknowledge your talents as well as your mistakes, because success is not without obstacles. Be the agent of change to create positive changes and make a difference in the world. Recognize that we are all different, but the differences between us are compelling. Yet it is those differences that enrich our civilization. Have the audacity to create your own pathways to success. In conclusion, this conference has certainly been international. We were honored to have representatives from Bahrain, China, India, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and the United States of America. It was a privilege to have you all join our first MUN, hosted by Sekolah Global Indo-Asia, contributing and making each one of us more aware of the issues you raised over the past 2 days. For that, I would like to express my gratitude to Ms. Mary Joy Cabresa for initiating and directing the first MUN hosted by Sekolah Global Indo-Asia, Saransh Mehta, our Secretary General, for overseeing this MUN. Saransh is a recent graduate of SGIA, and so I want to personally say good luck in his study at Michigan State University. Sarah Auxili and Lee Min-woo, our 2 MCs who also acted as the presidents for 2 of the 4 committees. Atul, Nikhil, Glenn, Shafira, Angel, Julian, who acted as the presidents and assistant presidents. To all delegates who participated in this MUN, SGIA leadership team and staff for their help and support in making this MUN a success. Finally, this is Model United Nations, of course, but I want to stress that what has unfolded over the last few days is the modeling and showcasing of what debate and discussions can do. By modeling such behaviors, each participant demonstrated an international mindset in helping us understand the need to listen, respond, and the utilization of research and evidence. Well done, and congratulations to each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you for your wise words, Ms. Mida. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, awards.
We would now like to introduce each committee's chairs to present the awards for their respective committees. Delegates, if your name has been called upon, you will be receiving a certificate recognizing yourself as well as the award you have achieved.
Before we give out the awards, the chair would like to thank our delegates for their efforts during the two-day conference. Despite being a small committee, you all showed exceptional skills in debating, communicating, and resolution drafting. Due to all of our delegates, our debate was impactful, passionate in every moment, and able to reach solutions to the key issues in Israel and Palestine. Thank you all for your participation and hard work.
With that being said, our honorable mention award goes to a delegate who grew into the conference and became a valuable and calm contributor during our committee session. She was a delegate that was thorough with her POIs, asking meaningful questions and advancing debate forward with her various speeches and amendments. As a result, I'm proud to present the Delegate of France, Chesna Goal, with the Security Council's Honorable Mention Award.
Our Best Delegate Awards goes to a delegate that showed impressive debating and communicating skills. Even after abruptly switching his delegation during the conference, he performed admirably. I am proud to give the Security Council's Best Delegate Award to the delegate of the United Kingdom, Sian Hong. Thank you and congratulations, delegate.
So before I move on to the awards, I would like to firstly thank all delegates from the ECOSOC for your active participation in the committee sessions. And it seemed like each one of you was very eager to participate and speak when the opportunity arose. I'll be now giving the floor to my fellow chair, Angel.
So to begin with the verbal mention, for her diplomacy and efforts in contributing to fruitful debate, we would first like to verbally acknowledge the delegate of the United Kingdom, Dulipalad Navyasreya from Delhi Public School. Thank you, delegate. Next, for his consistent commitment to the efforts of introducing amendments and speeches on the resolutions crafted during this conference, we are very pleased to announce that the Honorable Mention Award goes to the delegate of Indonesia, Jeffrey Jonathan from Sekolah Global Indo-Asia. Thank you, delegates. I'll now pass the mic over to my fellow ECOSOC chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Angel. So the qualities we looked for in a best delegate are quality of speech, leadership skills in leading a bloc, and the spontaneity of speaking. This delegate in ECOSOC had all these points and spoke very well and was able to execute his plans very well. The award goes to Christopher Sheng, the delegate of France from Taipei American School. Congratulations, delegate of France, you did a very good job.
Before we present the awards for the Human Rights Council, we would like to congratulate all our delegates for the wonderful contributions and efforts you have made during the two-day conference to address the issue of the human rights violations in Myanmar. We are truly proud of your accomplishments and determination to make the most out of this conference experience, and we certainly enjoyed the easygoing vibes that our committee had. Now, I will pass the floor to my co-chair, Shafira, to present the Verbal Mention Award and the Honorable Mention Award.
Thank you, Sarah. We can proudly say that all our delegates had actively participated and demonstrated their collaboration skills during the committee sessions. However, we recognize that some delegates had expressed their exceptionally great enthusiasm in engaging with issues of global significance and had shown incredible development in their leadership skills during the 2 days conference. Hence, we would like to verbally commend Jonathan Gary's Hartono, the delegate of the United Kingdom, and present the Honorable Mention Award to Amber Lin, the delegate of France, for their outstanding participation throughout the conference. I will now pass the floor again to my chair, Sarah, to present the Best Delegate Award.
Thank you, Shafira. Each and every delegate in the HRC committee has performed exceedingly well, but there was one delegate who's particularly stood out to us. Not only did this delegate bring up good points in their speeches that moved the committee forward, but they had also contributed greatly to the resolutions which were discussed in the committee sessions and expressed great leadership qualities. Ladies and gentlemen, the Best Delegate Award of the Human Rights Council goes to Mishalni Andi Arsalmunyandi the delegate of the Netherlands. Congratulations, delegates.
Before I move on to the awards, I would like to thank each and every delegate in the World Trade Organization who made committee what it was. And each and every delegate had something valuable to bring to the table. And I'm equally grateful to all of them for making committee a success. I would now like to hand over the mic to my fellow co-chair, Julian, who will announce the awards.
Thank you, Nikhil. So with that in mind, we will want to recognize a special verbal mention within our committee, which goes to Wayu Pravida, who is the delegate of South Korea. He has done such a great job expressing the delegate's stance, especially during the crisis. Next, for the continuous collaborations, operative clauses, and continuous resolution debates, she has expressed outstanding points across, and hence, we would want to give our honorable mention award to Sans Thakur as a delegate of India. We're so proud of you. Now, I would like to give the floor to our President Chair, Nikhil.
Thank you, Julian. For the Best Delegate Award, this delegate was, even though their own resolution got failed, they made sure that each and every point from their resolution was implemented in the final resolution that committee drafted. And they had excellent POIs. They answered every question, and their speeches were full of valuable points. So, without any further ado, I'd like to give the Best Delegate Award to Arisul from Brazil, who is a delegate of Brazil.
Thank you, committee chairs, and congratulations to all awardees. We would now like to welcome our Secretary General, Saransh Mehta, to deliver his closing speech.
Thank you, David. We were all here this weekend to represent our countries, push ourselves in debate, and pass good resolutions. But although our success in these things is important to us, I would like to take a few minutes to talk about not success, but failure. Having participated in our discussions, we should remember that there is no such thing as an overnight success. It's a fallacy, a myth peddled in a world where someone may be virtually catapulted to fame as an internet phenomenon in a matter of 24 hours. What I would like us to dwell on as this conference is drawing to a close is the work, the process that takes us towards success, towards our goals. That process sometimes includes failure, not winning an award, but focusing on learning and improving. There was once a lady in a marketplace. She saw Picasso and asked him for a self-portrait. He agreed and drew a perfect picture in 30 seconds. He then handed it back to her and asked her for $30,000. She questioned how it could cost that much when it only took him a mere 30 seconds. He replied, "It took me 30 years to be able to draw that in 30 seconds. It is amazing how, so often, the time taken to achieve success is forgotten. How frequently we forget what lies beyond the tip of the iceberg, the shadowy section underneath the water. But that part, the part we don't see, the part full of failure, learning, and progress, is absolutely what makes success possible. If we have experienced that success today, it is because we have invested time, valued experience, and learned from our mistakes and failures. When you look at the definition of failure in the dictionary, it is defined by 3 words: a lack of success. If we fear failure and imperfection, it ultimately means that we don't value growth and learning. It means we don't value experience and struggle, and our obsession with winning means that we're actually letting go of what we could learn at every point. So I hope this you have been brave and courageous in your discussions, have not been afraid to express your views. To those of you who do not win awards today, keep trying. There are always more conferences to get involved in. Learn from your mistakes, whether it is improving your public speaking skills, spending more time researching issues, or gaining confidence in the committee room. Being open to improvement is paramount. But having said this, we cannot assume we all have all the time in the world to perfect our skill. Our generation do not. Like Picasso, have 30 years to gain experience before we have to sort out the world's problems. Our generation is going to have to deal with several looming crises immediately. Fortunately, this seems to be a challenge that many young people seem to be keen to take on. Isn't this why MUN is so important? Being here and doing this gives us the confidence and skills we need, the experience of success, of progress, and yes, sometimes of failure, to be able to tackle our generation's issues as soon as we are given the chance. With this being my first conference as Secretary General, I, as much as anyone, realize I still have a lot to learn and take on the challenges the world will throw at our generation. That is why I thank you now. I have been inspired by so many of you today and in the past other conferences. I'm constantly delighted at the level of debate and skills you show that I can only feel hope for the future. I know that I am not as experienced as many others who have filled this role, but it has been an honor serving as your Secretary General for this weekend's conference. I would like to thank all my fellow Secretariat members, faculty advisors, and our school admin for the smooth running of the conference. And to all those award winners, I congratulate you. To everyone else, I hope you will, as I will, enjoy continuing learning through Model UN. I now declare SGIAMUN closed. Thank you.
Thank you, Saranj. We have officially come to the end of the first SGIA-MUN conference. We would like to extend our sincerest gratitude and utmost appreciation towards the SGIA leadership and administration and the SGIA-MUN team for making this conference possible.
We would also like to thank all delegates, guests, and faculty for your active participation in the first ever SECOLA Global Indo-Asia Model United Nations Conference and your contributions to making SGIA-MUN 2021 a successful and valuable experience. This officially marks the end of our conference. We hope to see you again. This conference is now adjourned.